सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यङ्करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। ज्ञानानन्दमयं देवं निर्मलस्फटिकाकृतिम् आधारं सर्वविद्यानां हयग्रीवमुपास्महे। ओम श्री हयग्रीवाय नमः। ओम श्री वल्लभा समेत श्री महागणाधिपतये नमः। We were looking at the pramanya of the different bhashyas. Why a particular bhashya should be accepted means it gives us valid knowledge, correct? Prama means valid knowledge. Pramanya means the ability to give this valid knowledge. Okay. So which bhashya has pramanyam? So in that, what we all accept is that Shruti is a pramana for us. Okay, which is what is called a Shabda pramana also. And we did discuss a little bit about the Shruti pramana. The Shruti itself is a pramana only because it is revealing to us something which is atindriya, which is beyond our sense perception. By saying beyond the sense perception, it is also beyond inference, because normal inference is based on perceptual knowledge. So it is very clearly said even by different acharyas. Sayanacharya has said, pratyakshena anumitya va yastu upayo na buddhyate yenam vidanti vedena tasmad vedasya vedata. So that which is not or which cannot be known through pratyaksha and anumiti, okay, anumiti or anumana, that alone is revealed by the Veda. And Veda itself is a Veda or a valid means of knowledge because of that only. Why this point is very important is, nowadays there is a trend that to say everything is scientific. Veda is scientific, and we have even, I think, academic departments like Vedic science, yogic science. They want to add science everywhere: science, engineering, technology. So these are the buzzwords, which is actually a kind of misleading marketing, I think, because somehow nowadays people think that science means it is valid knowledge, or science alone is valid knowledge. Therefore, to make the Veda, or to say that Veda, whatever the Veda is revealing is really valid, they use the adjective scientific, or they just add science to our traditional knowledge disciplines also. But the important thing is, science has its own method, okay? The scientific method, you cannot say that it is there in our traditional knowledge disciplines. It is not a defect or anything. That's what we have to understand. The Veda by definition should not be scientific, in fact, because it has to reveal to us something which is beyond sense perception and inference. Therefore, it is actually beyond science, we have to say. Okay. It has to be beyond science. Otherwise, I would rather study science, correct? Why should I even come to the Veda? So I don't require Veda as a pramana. If Veda is restating whatever can be known through science. So Veda should not be scientific, and whatever is presented in the Veda does not follow any scientific method. That also we have to be very clear, because scientific method means you have to first have a hypothesis. The hypothesis should be falsifiable also. And then you can have experimentation. There is a null hypothesis and all that. So many of you may be aware of the research methods and all that. So through the your experimentation or whatever data collection, you have to either prove or disprove the null hypothesis, and based on that, we can say that whether a particular hypothesis itself is true. Of course, all these things are based on boundary conditions also. That's why the scientific knowledge itself is not fixed. It keeps on evolving because we find that certain theories are not applicable under certain boundary conditions. Therefore, we have to have a new hypothesis, new theory, or a theory which can have a bigger field, okay, in terms of the boundary conditions. All these things, unified field and all, they are trying to find one theory which can explain everything, which itself is a problem. They are not able to find anything like that till now, at least. So the science, whatever is scientific, okay, and the science itself need not be taken as valid. Understand that whatever the scientists say, everything may not be valid because they themselves invalidate their own theories. And whatever is said in the Veda is not invalid just because it is not scientific. That is also we have to be very clear. Veda is a pramana to us because science can neither prove nor disprove whatever is said by the Veda. So Veda is foundational for us. It is like another pratyaksha, and we can do anumana based on the Veda. Okay. Because tarka or logic itself doesn't have any pratishtha, correct? It doesn't have any basis. The initial assumptions you have to bring always to the table. Then there is a method. The logical method again you can use to arrive at deduct certain conclusions and all that. There logic is useful. So we have to be clear about all these things. Science is just enhanced perception and enhanced inference, you can say, because we have telescope, microscope and all that nowadays. But even with all that, Veda is beyond science. That's how it should be, in fact. Then only Veda is useful. In fact, that is a important thing, particularly for Vedantins, because whatever the Veda is revealing, it is your own Swarupa. The nature, the very nature of the subject is being revealed by the Veda, and that cannot be studied objectively, correct? Because science also has a restriction where they want to study everything objectively. But you are the eternal subject. How can you be objectified? You can never be objectified. You as a subject can never be objectified. Then how do I know then myself? Because, for example, you want to see your own eyes. Means there's no way of seeing. Eyes can see everything else, but it cannot objectify itself and see itself, correct? That is what we call kartri karma virodha. The subject and object cannot be one and the same. But then there is still a way. What is that way? You go and stand in front of a mirror or a reflecting medium. Okay, darpana. So that is why we say Shastra is a darpana for us. It is a Shastra darpana because Shastra is showing you your Swarupa. In the light of the revelation of the Shastra, we have to understand ourselves, but not by objectifying ourselves. We can never objectify ourselves. And we need not objectify ourselves also to know ourselves, because the self is self-revealing. It is self-luminous. It is Swayam Jyotihi. Swaprakasha and all that we say, because even it's a simple thing, correct? Even if I ask you, are you there? You don't have to use any pramana to say that I am there, because I has to be there. I am already implied in any cognition as a subject, and I need not be established by any pramana. I am beyond all pramanas also. That way, my existence need not be established by any pramana. Then why do we even require the Veda pramana? In fact, this kind of an objection comes from the Dvaitins also, because why should the self even be known? Because self is already known by everybody. Why should the Veda reveal? Means Veda is not revealing the existence of the self. Veda is only removing your wrong notions about yourself. Okay, it is only removing erroneous cognition. That is where the Veda Pramana is important. Veda comes and tells you are Satchidananda Swarupa. In fact, even in this, what is said by our acharyas is that the Satchit aspect everybody knows. Nobody takes oneself as a Jada Vastu. Even though somebody else may scold you that you are a Jada and all that, if you do something stupid, that is. But the point is, nobody, even the most dull person, doesn't consider oneself as a Jada or an insentient being. In fact, one's own existence and the fact that everything becomes evident to me as a subject, it is known to everybody. The Satchit aspect of the one's own nature also everyone knows. But the Ananta or the Ananda, these are the things the problems are. Because as soon as you say, I am so and so, the so and so is the erroneous cognition, because that becomes an identity with Anatma. I am is fine, but I am some name you give, that is an identity based on a body mind sense complex. Along with that, everything comes, all the parichinnatvam, correct, the limitations, and then you own up all the problems of the body mind sense complex as your own problems. That's how the whole samsara is there. Okay, so the samsara nivritti, the purpose of the study of the Veda is to get rid of this samsara. That's why you are all a mumukshu, correct? You want to get rid of all limitations centered on oneself, and that's why you are a mumukshu. And then you recognize as a mumukshu that if I want to get rid of all limitations which are centered on myself, I have to be, or I have to become limitless to start with, let us say. But then with a little vichara, with little analysis, we know that nobody can become limitless, because limitless means it has to be already there. It has to be there now. It has to be there always. And limitless means it has to be available right here, correct? You don't have to go anywhere. Space-wise and time-wise, it has to be limitless. Object-wise also it has to be limitless. Means you don't have to go anywhere. It has to be available right here and now. And that limitless also cannot leave myself out of it. Then it will become limited by myself only, correct? So based on all these things, what do we understand? The only way of getting rid of all the limitations which are centered on myself, which is the cause of my samsara, is that I have to be already the limitless. There is no other way. There is only one way. If I am already the limitless, why do I not know that? Means again the ignorance is established by that itself, correct? So you do not know. That is again, that is pratyaksha to all of us. I do not know myself, means then the mumukshu becomes the one who desires knowledge now. Then what? I have to know myself as the limitless. So the whole purpose or the whole pursuit here is what? One of knowledge. And also this pursuit is one of accomplishing the accomplished, correct? The siddha vastu alone is the sadhya. But why is it sadhya? Because the asiddhatvam is purely avidya. The distance between yourself and what you want to achieve is really only ignorance. There is no real distance. It is avidyaya eva. Okay. And therefore, knowledge alone is the solution, and knowledge means pramana. Without pramana, there is no knowledge. So, sa guru meva abhigache nasti akritaha kritena first. Therefore, it should be siddha already. If it is siddha means I do not know, then knowledge comes into the picture. Knowledge means you have to go to a guru, and guru is the one who is Shrotriya. Brahmanishta means Shrotriya means Veda is the pramana. Veda comes into the picture, and that's how we are looking at it. Even here, couple of things we saw about the Veda. That Veda is Apaurushaya and Nitya and all that. These things, of course, modern academics and all may not accept this, which is irrelevant to us. As a mumukshu, the Veda Pramanya we establish by showing that whatever is revealed in the Veda is beyond all the sense perception and inference, and further it does not go against any established knowledge or other pramanas. That is also very important for us. Abadhitam, it cannot be negated by any means of knowledge, whatever the Veda is revealing, particularly about yourself, because the subject cannot be objectified. Therefore, it's not even available to any senses and any kind of inference. So, Veda alone is the pramana there. That is very important. Of course, it is the pramana even for other things like doing Vaidika karma and going to Swarga and all that, because none of these things also can be revealed by any sense organ or inference or anything. So Veda is a pramana for whole host of things, unique field of knowledge which it is revealing to us. And through that only, first we start with dharma, and from dharma alone, by leading a life of dharma alone, we can go to moksha. Okay. So that is very important. We have to understand that. So here, the Veda Pramana we talked about, and further, the Smritis are also, why they are a Pramana, means they are also following the Veda. That is why they have Pramanya. Otherwise, they don't have any Pramana. The Smriti will not have any Pramana if it is going against the Veda. That is the last part we saw. That's why we even say that why don't we not accept Ramanuja's Bhashya, because it is following Bodha in a Vritti. The Bodha in a Vritti itself goes against whatever is revealed by the Veda. So here we saw Upanishad Viruddhartha Pratipadakatvena Apramanatvat. Okay, so Vrittikara Matasya Upanishad Viruddhartha Pratipadakatvena Apramanatvat. It is Apramana. We don't consider it as a valid means of knowledge because it is going against whatever is revealed by the Upanishad. And then Ramanuja also is following that. So Ramanuja Bhashyam Tad Anuyayi. Therefore, what? That also is Apramana only for us. Anupadeyam. So we cannot accept it. But Shankara Bhashya is the one which is following whatever is revealed by the Upanishads and the Veda. And therefore, since it is revealing that to us, it is Sapramana. It is the one which is giving us valid knowledge. Therefore, it has to be accepted. That is the Siddhanta. And now the author makes a pratigna here. What is his pratigna, or his opening statement, you can say. Okay. His intention is what? Maya chatra yeshu sthaleshu Ramanuja Bhashyasya Vedanta Virodaha Shankara Bhashyasya cha tad avirodaha tad ubhayam samyak vivichya pradarsyate. So by me, Maya, so with reference to this particular Pramanatva only, correct? Atra, what I am going to show you, wherever Yeshu Thaleshu means in whichever place Ramanuja's Bhashya is against the Veda and Vedanta Virodha. Wherever Ramanuja Bhashya is Vedanta Virodha, I will show you that. And in the same place, how Shankara's Bhashya is Vedanta Avirodha, that also I will show you. Shankara Bhashyasya cha tad avirodaha. And again, by showing these two, what? Tad ubhayam samyak vivichya, by again analyzing these two very clearly, okay, with discrimination, I will show you. Okay, these two things I will show you by proper analysis to you. That's what is the pratigna. So now the next topic, or the first topic, is what? Madhva-rAmAnujayoh Kalirajatmya Kama Krodhamshatva Nirupanam. So this is what I said, that Bellamkonda was very scathing in his criticism. So here, since the Vaishnavas claim that Ramanuja is a Sheshamsa, or is a avatara, and we have to accept the Bhashya due to that fact. Maybe he himself, he studied Ramanuja Bhashya first, okay? And it is said that, and he found that many things were not adding up. But he always thought that since Ramanuja is revered so much in the tradition, he is the avatara and all that, maybe my understanding is not proper. My understanding only is to be questioned. Like this, he studied because he came from a Vaishnava lineage and family, and he was a brilliant prodigy. So he learnt many things very quickly. He lived only for 39 years, in fact. So that is one of the important things in his thought process initially. But later on, he got exposed to Panchadashi, and then he studied other Advaita works through some other Shastris and all that who were visiting at that time his village or whatever nearby. And then suddenly a whole new world opened up to him. Okay, so he could see all the fallacies in the Ramanuja Bhashya very clearly. And therefore, he also wanted to bash this idea that Ramanuja is somehow an avatara. And in fact, he found some reference in Skanda Purana to show otherwise. Okay, that is the interesting part here. So he is now saying that Ramanuja and Madhva are not really, and I think Madhva is supposed to be a avatara Vayu or something like that. Okay, but he now says that those are not proper. In fact, I will show you some reference in the Purana where they can be considered as avatara of really Kama and Krodha only. Okay, particularly in the Kali Yuga. In the rule of Kali Rajam, Kali Raja Amatyaka. Okay, Amatya means what? Ministers. So Kali Raja Amatya Kama Krodham Shatva Nirupanam here. So they are really ministers of the Kali Raja, and in the Kali Yuga, they have come to only spread adharma. Like this, he is actually establishing by quoting Skanda Purana here. So let us see. Nacha Veda Viruddhamapi Ramanuja Bhashyam Pancharatra Agama Aviruddhatvat Grahyam iti Vachyam. Okay, first he says you cannot say that, okay, Ramanuja may have said something which is Veda Viruddha, but still it is not against what is said in the Pancharatra Agama. Therefore, we have to accept whatever he says. You cannot say that he is saying. Why? Because Pancharatra Agama and all is only Smriti. A Smriti cannot go against the Shruti and still maintain validity. Okay, therefore, we cannot accept this line of argument. Then you will become an Astika. Okay, so he says, you cannot say like that. Why? Tasyapi Veda Viruddhatvena Apramanatva. Even the Pancharatra Agama, wherever it goes against the Veda, we cannot accept it as a Pramana. Further, what? Nacha Sheshasya Bhagavata Sampradaya Kartritvena Bhagavat Tattva with Agresaratvat Tad Amsha Ramanuja Bhashyam Tattva Bhutsubihi Kutaha Nagrahyam iti Vachyam. Okay, further what? Sheshasya Bhagavata Sampradaya Kartritvena. So this Ramanuja has created a Bhagavata Sampradaya, okay, of Bhaktas, Bhagavatas, and of course maybe he's also based on lot of Bhagavata. All these Dvaitins, mostly Dvaitins, Vishta Dvaitins and all, they also quote the Bhagavata Puranam, but how they manage that, I don't know. Because Bhagavata is full of Advaita again. Everywhere you look at. In fact, I even went to some online sources, ISKCON sources and all for translation, how they have translated. In some portions, they have simply not translated at all. They have left it as it is. Half a shloka they would have left without translation, because you cannot do anything else there. It is so clear. I don't know how they can even translate and then make sense of it. So they just leave it out. They leave it without translating because it is so clear. Even Bhagavata also, in fact, in this Shankara-Ashankara-Bhashya-Vimarshah also, in many places, our Bellamkonda Ramaraya Kavi will quote from Bhagavata Purana a lot. We'll see that. So anyway, Bhagavata Sampradaya Kartru. So this Ramanuja is a Bhagavata Sampradaya Karta. So the Bhagavata Sampradaya is coming, that also is not very true. Okay, as though Advaitins are not Bhagavatas, we cannot say that. In fact, the Nama Sankirtana Sampradaya in Tamil Nadu and all is completely by Advaitins. Okay, even up to now, like Krishna Premi and others, correct? There is a Bhagavan Nama Bodhendra and all was there. So like this, Sridhara Ayyawal was there. So all these people, even Nama Sankirtana and Bhagavata and Bhajana Sampradaya and all that is all, they were all Advaitins, Pakka Advaitins. Anyway, so at least they claim that, their claim is that he is the Bhagavata Sampradaya Karta and he is a Bhagavat Tattvavid. So he is the knower of the Bhagavat Swarupa, Bhagavat Tattva. Even there again we have to question what is that Tattva. If he says that it is Ananta Kalyana Guna Sampanna and all that, that will be again questioned. Okay. And therefore it is what Agre Saratvat means, what it is the best, or it is the it is the best really. Agre Sara means something which is standing in front, correct? It is, or it goes to the front, something which is the best. Therefore what? Tad Amsha Ramanuja Bhashyam. So that whatever is part of this tradition, which is this Ramanuja Bhashya, how can the Tattva Bubutsu Bihi, means those who are desirous of knowing the Tattva. So Bubutsa means the Bodhum Icha. Okay, Bubutsu Bihi. Kutaha Nagrahyam, how can it not be accepted by those who are desirous to know Bhagavat Tattva? Like that also you should not say, he is saying, Nacha Vachyam. So the Na you have to connect here. Nacha Vachyam. Why? Only if he is a Ramanuja Amsha or Shesha Amsha we can consider, he is saying. Yadi Ramanujaha Shesha Amsasyat Tarhi Vedanta Aviruddham Eva Sutrartam Bruyat. Natu Sheshamshaha. See, in fact, what we say, the Siddhantin is saying is what? If really Ramanuja is Sheshamsha, or he is an avatara of Ananta, means he will not say anything which is Veda Viruddha. He cannot say. He is really the avatara, Shesha avatara or Sheshamsha. Vedanta Aviruddhameva Sutrartham Bruyat. He will say the Brahmasutra only in keeping with what is said in the Vedanta, in the Upanishads. He can never say anything against that, but that is not the case. Therefore, what we conclude that Natu Sheshamshaha. So he is not Sheshamsa. So Natu Sheshamshaha. Parantu what? Kali Raja Amatya Krodhamshaha eva. He is Kali Raja Amatya. He is the minister of Kali Raja and he is an avatar of Krodha, he says. And what is the pramana for this? Means Tatahi. That is said Skande Kedara Khande Ekashashtitam Yuga Dharma Prastave Garudam Prati Bhagavata Kali Dharmo Nirupitaha. So in the Kedara Khanda of the Skanda Purana, in the 61st chapter, he is saying where the Yuga Dharma is talked about, correct? Yuga Dharma Prastave Garudam Prati Bhagavata. Bhagavan is talking to Garuda. Bhagavan Vishnu himself is talking. And there the Kali Dharma is actually revealed. Okay. And in that it is this below whatever some verses he has quoted. There is a discussion between Kali Raja and his ministers. Very interesting. Okay. Kali Raja is very upset that people, even though the Kali Yuga has started, they are not giving up dharma and having pravritti into adharma. And so he calls all his ministers and he is berating them. What you guys are doing? You are all useless. People are still following only dharma. So go and do something about it. Like this, it's an interesting conversation. Now, another interesting thing is, I tried to locate these verses in whatever Skanda Purana and all I found online. But the funny thing is, this Kedara Khanda is the first Khanda. There is a Maheshwara Khanda. Within that, this Kedara Khanda and all is there. But the Kedarakhanda in the current North Indian recension, at least I think, because the Skanda Purana has a North Indian recension and South Indian recension. And in the North Indian Skanda Purana, the Kedarakhanda is having only 35 chapters in whatever book I referred. So where is he getting this Ekashashtitama Adhyaya? I don't know. Ekashashtitama means it is 61st Adhyaya. So maybe some reference we have to actually see where he is talking, or from where there must be some South Indian recension, and whether anybody has published that we don't know. Because the South Indian recension of the Skanda Purana is, I think it is not completely available even today. Some of them is lost, I think. So we'll have to check that. So the South Indian recension of Skanda Purana we have to locate, I think. There may be some portions, Sutta Samhita and all I have seen. In South also it is very popular. Okay, so there used to be a great Jnani here in Kodakanallur, nearby our place. And he was called Sundaraswamy. And he used to teach Sutta Samhita to everybody. Okay, he lived some 150 years back, I think. And Sutta Samhita also has a lot of Advaita in it, the one portion of Skanda Purana. So, but this particular reference we can, maybe somebody, some of you can do some research, I think, and try to get. But anyway, if you see here, let us read the sloka. It's not very difficult Sanskrit. Kalau yuge pravritte tu kalif papadhinayakaha swashaktya sakalam dharmam nirmulayitum udyataha. So, Kalau yuge pravritte, when the Kali Yuga started, what? Kali, Papa Adhinayaka. So, who is the Adhinayaka, or the chief of all Papa? With his own Shakti, Swashaktya, Sakalam Dharmam. So, all the Dharma, all the righteousness, whatever is there, Nirmulayitum Udyataha. So, he made effort to destroy Dharma. Okay. Or he was making that effort. Okay. Then what happened? And also he put, see, Nana Rupai Prayatnaischa Yada Dharmona Nashitaha Tada Kalirbhrisham Kruddhaha Samahuya Swamantrinaha. So Nana Rupaihi Prayatne. So he did lot of effort, okay, different types of effort. Nana Rupaihi Prayatne ischa Yada Dharmona Nashita. But still what? When Dharma did not, it was not destroyed even after different types of effort by Kali and his ministers. Then what? Tada Kalihi Brisham Kruddaha. So he became very angry, very much angry, violently angry, you can say. And then what? He called all his mantris. Samahuya Swamantrinaha. So he called all his mantris. And then what? What did he say? Kamam Krodham Madam Chaiva Lobham Moham Cha Matsaram Shadetan Swami Karyarthan Kupitah Kalirabravit. So he called them and then he told them who are his ministers. Kama, desire, Krodha, anger. Madam is pride. Then Lobha is greed. Moha is delusion. Matsara is jealousy. So these we know, correct? These are called Shad Ripuhu. We talk about all these things. Even in the Gita also, these things are all talked about. Kama Krodha Deha. And Shadetan, Swami Karyarthan. Shakti Sampannaha Dharmanashaika Hetavaha Upekshadve Katham Dharmam Anirmulya Vrithayudhaha. So Bhavantaha, all of you, what? Shakti Sampanna, you all have enough power, okay? For what? Dharmanashaika Hetavaha, for the purpose of destroying this Dharma. You all have the power, okay? But even then what? Even with all that power, depending on that, are using that power also, how you are not able to destroy this dharma? Okay, and all your weapons and whatever you have, your power is all vritha, he says. It is all waste. No result is seen because dharma is still very much upheld by all the people. You are not able to destroy it. Why? So, evam cha kalinadishtaha pratyuchu kalipurusham. So, in this manner, having been told by Kali, they replied, okay, to the Kali Purusha. First, Kama replies. What? Shrinu Swamin Pravakshyami Tvayadishtah Purahyaham Akshobhayam Tribhuvanam Sadeva Rishi Manavam Yada Palayito Dharmaha Madbhitya Bhuvi Satvaram Tada Chopanishad Vidya Sangaveda Chatushtayi. Okay, see, Shrinu Swamin, hey Swamin, hey Master, listen to me. So, having been instructed by you before only, correct? Okay. So, I went all to all the three worlds, which is what? Which is having devas, rishis, and human beings and all that. But what? They were all, see, Akshobhaya means like they were on, but I could not still agitate them or make anything. They were like immovable. Okay. All these people were not influenced, or I could not influence them. Why? One reason he says that yada madbhitya bhuvi satvaram palayitaha. Okay. So, these people, when Kama went near them, what? They all, because of the fear, my fear of this desires and all that, Kama, they immediately went to the Bhuloka. Okay. They all fled. Palayita means literally they fled. And then what? Tada cha Upanishad Vidya Sanga Veda Chatushtayi Tatra Vritta Brahma Vidya Brahmadvaita Parayana Sahi Sarva Prapanchasya Mrishatvam Bhashate Sada Brahmaiva Satya Rupam Tat Prapanchastu Mrishatmakaha Tasmad Yateta Matiman Brahmaikya Avaptaye Sada Tat Phalam Jnana Sadhyam Syat Jnanam Dharmaika Sadhanam Dharma Sangraha Yuktana Muktihi Karagata Nrinam Iti Sanga Trayi Vidya Bodhayanti Anisham Nrinam. So they all fled to the Bhuloka, and in the Bhuloka what? In fact, he is giving a nice progression. Okay, Kama itself is telling our entire the Vedanta pursuit how it should be. Okay, in this he says what? There is this Upanishad Vidya is there. So they all started studying the Upanishad Vidya in the Bhuloka along with the Angas, Sanga Veda Chatushtai, 4 Vedas and the Shad Angas, along with the Upanishad, all these things. And in that Upanishad only the Brahma Vidya is there. Okay, Tatra Vritta Brahma Vidya. And that Brahma Vidya itself is what? Brahma Advaita Parayana. It is actually only revealing or focused on the Advaita nature of Brahman, correct? Oneness of Brahman. And Sahi Sarva Prapanchasya Mrishatvam Bhashate Sada. And also, once you understand that Brahman alone is Satyam, then Jagat is Mithya, because Jagat is all the time changing. It is all Mrisha, it is false. So, Sarva Prapanchasya Mrishatvam Bhashate. Also, this Upanishad is teaching about the Mrishatva of this entire world. And therefore, what? Brahmaiva Satya Rupam Tat Prapanchastu Mrishatmakaha. Therefore, Brahma alone is Satyam. Sadeva Satyam. Like this, even the Chandogya talks about, correct? So, Satya here is an ontological term. It talks about the status of the reality of a particular object, Vastu. So, Brahma alone is Satyam. And the Prapancha, everything which we actually know as an object of our cognition, all that is only Mrisha, because they are all changing all the time. Mrishatmakaha tasmad yateta matiman brahmaikya avaptaye sada. Therefore, the one who is intelligent, we can say matiman, means should always make effort to gain this Brahma Aikya. Gaining the Aikya means basically knowing, correct? There is no avapti, as I said. In this pursuit, it is only accomplishing the accomplished already. There is nothing you gain newly, but you gain this knowledge. That is the Brahma Aikya. Avaptihi is basically Brahma Jnanam. And in fact, he says that in the next line, Tat phalam jnana sadhyam. So the Brahma Aikya avapti is nothing but it is only through the jnana. Jnana is the means. It is accomplished by gaining jnanam. The Brahma Aikya avapti, which is the phala, which is the moksha phala, is jnana sadhyam syat. And this jnana itself is dharmaika sadhanam. And jnana itself can be only accomplished by dharma. Without leading the life of a dharmika, one cannot be even be prepared for this jnanam, correct? So whenever we talk about Atma Jnanam, the sadhana chatushtaya sampattihi, we talk about the fourfold qualification. And in that, one has to be a dharmika. There is no question about it. Okay, one cannot be doing adharma and still say that I am qualified for this knowledge, because if you do adharma, the implication of doing adharma itself is what? You are taking your ragadvesha as more important than whatever is to be done, what is right, wrong, correct? Why anybody does adharma? Because everybody knows that what is dharma and adharma. We all have conscience, manasakshi, correct? And we can all sense the samanya dharma is commonly sensed by all. That's why it is samanya. So at least samanya dharma we are all aware. And Vishesha Dharma also, even the law of the land, let us say. Of course, not all of us, we have not studied our constitution, all the laws which are there in the books. But even then, you have the responsibility of knowing even the Vishesha Dharma also. Because ignorance is not a defense even in a court of law. You cannot go to the justice, you make some mistake, you do some crime, you cannot say, I did not know that this was wrong, this is illegal. You cannot say that. Ignorance is not a defense. So you, even if you are confused with reference to what is dharma, adharma, you have a responsibility to know and then follow dharma. If you are not able to do that and do adharma, means basically you are overpowered by your own likes and dislikes. Because the whole human psychology is very simple. According to Bhagavad Gita and our tradition, it is a conflict between right and wrong and likes and dislikes. If those two align, you will become naturally dharmic, correct? There is no, you will be instinctually dharmic if your likes and dislikes and rights and wrong align with each other. But the conflict itself is there because it doesn't align. Whatever you like, correct? Pujya Swamiji used to say, whatever one likes is either illegal, immoral, or calorific. So like that, so then that's where the whole problem is, correct? And likes and dislikes themselves imply that you are wanting being, correct? You are a limited wanting being. That's why even before the Vedanta Shravana, or you become a student of Vedanta, one has to have a certain mastery over one's own likes and dislikes. Without that, the Vedanta will not work. Without that, if you still take yourself as a limited being and wanting being and you want to accomplish something, then all we can do only blessings we can give, saying that accomplish whatever you want, but do it at least as per dharma. Okay, that's all one can do. You can't teach Vedanta to those who are still ambitious about worldly accomplishments. Vedanta will work only, in fact, it works the best for those people who have already accomplished something dharmically, but still see the limitations of their own accomplishments. Such persons are the ideal Vedanta students because they have a nourished ego in the sense that they have accomplished certain things, but then they also have a certain dissatisfaction with all this. Okay, that vairagya is there because they know that whatever they have accomplished, in the eyes of others, maybe it is all great and all that. But once you have accomplished something, it is no more great. Understand that. So you are again looking for something else, something else, something else. Then at some point you are thinking, is there anything by accomplishing which I can be totally contented with myself and satisfied with myself totally? Is there anything like that really? If something like that is there, rather I would like to accomplish that rather than accomplishing so many different things, correct? That is the thought process which makes you into a mumukshu and a jignasu. That thought process, if it is there, that you have accomplished some things in life, but you have seen the limitations of your own accomplishments, and then you want, now I want to do that accomplishment, after which I can rest totally contented with myself. Is there anything like that? Means there is nothing like that in modern life, let me tell you. But our tradition, we always talk about moksha, we talk about different jnanis, and they all have pursued moksha. So we have something to fall back on, correct? After one gains this kind of a vairagya, so nasti akritaha kritena brahmanaha nirvedamayat. All this is said very beautifully in Mundakopanishad also. So that kind of a thought process is very important. And being a dharmika in life is very important. Without that, you cannot come to this jnanam. So that is why dharmaika sadhanam, jnanam dharmaika sadhanam is a very important thing. So you cannot just lead any kind of life and just come, because nowadays people are discussing Vedanta even in a bar and all that. I don't know what kind of discussion is going on there. It is not some philosophy. See, Vedanta, some people talk also it is a philosophy and all that. Even that gives a very bad aruchi to me. My Guruji also used to say always, correct? Vedanta cannot be called a philosophy. Philosophy, in fact, does not have any pratishtha again. They are all having some kind of discussion. In fact, there was recently some article also I read that there is a crisis in philosophy because no philosopher is able to establish anything as the truth or anything like that. Okay, they are negating each other maybe. That's all they can do. So the pratishtha can be there only if you have a pramana buddhi on something. That is why the requirement of a shabda pramana is very, very crucial. So philosophy and all is useless intellectual occupation, you can say. It's not useful really. So Vedanta is not a philosophy. Understand that. Vedanta is a pramana for us. And it has to give you result. The phalam, tat phalam, brahmaika avapti has to be there. Your whole self-identity has to transform. Otherwise, no point in studying Vedanta, correct? People can study Vedanta for 100 different reasons to get a PhD, okay, or to be acclaimed as a scholar by different people and all that. For that also you can study, but then it is not really that you are not a mumukshu or you are not gaining the phala, the Vedanta, pramana phalam you have to gain. Then only studying Vedanta is useful. And anyway, so this jnanam is dharmaika sadhanam. And therefore what? Dharma sangraha yuktanam muktihi karagata nrinam. And those who have dharma, and those who are connected to dharma, okay, means for them only the mukti is like ullangai nellikani we say, correct? Hasta malakaha, karagata. It is like as though there in your very hand. It is so pratyaksha to you, okay, for the human being. Therefore, what iti? Based on all these things, what? Sangha, Trayi, Vidya, Bodhayati, Anisham, Drinam. So they are teaching. So all these devas, rishis and all, they fled to the Bhuloka and then teaching all these people all the time, constantly. Anisham, Trayi Vidya means basically Rig, Yajus, Sama is called Trayi Vidya, along with the Sangha, Angas. Vedangas. Therefore, what? Tataha asmabihi mahayatnaha dharmanasha krite kritaha vyartaha bhavati. So now this Kama is saying that, therefore what? I did lot of effort, mahayatnaha, by me it was done for destroying this dharma. Okay. But even then what? Vyartaha bhavati. Why? Vipreshu vedaihi pratihataha bhrisham. So it is very much, whatever effort I did, it was all, it has become futile. It has been destroyed by these people who are actually teaching Advaita and Dharma. Okay, as the Jnana Sadhanam. So we are defeated by them, he is saying. So all my efforts have been defeated. It has become waste very much because of all these people who are teaching this Advaita Vedanta. So Veda Marga Vinashaya Yatnam Kuru Mahamate. So therefore, finally, what is his this Kama is now asking Kali Purusha. Therefore, you have to do some effort now. You tell us. We have to somehow destroy this Veda Marga. For that, we have to make effort. Hey Mahamate, like that. Then Krodhadaya also are adding whatever Kama said. Samyak ahamaha raja kamoyam kalinayaka yavad vedodito dharmaha yavad vedah pravartate yavat chaupanishad vidya yavadadvaita bhashanam tavat kamamadadinam asmakam ka katha bhuvi tasmad vedadva vidvamse yatnam kuru mahamate. So all these others, Kama said all these things, and Krodha, Madhva-Matsarya also they add what? So Samyagaha, he has said very well, properly, hey Maharaja, this Kama, Kamoyam Kalinayaka, hey Kalinayaka, Maharaja, Kama has said correctly. Whatever he has said is proper. Why? As long as Yavad Veda Uditaha Dharmaha. So till the time the Dharma which is from the Veda is there, and till the time people follow this Veda, Veda Pravartate, and Yavacha Upanishad Vidya, and till the time Upanishad Vidya is being taught, it is available, and till the time Advaita also is being taught, Yavad Advaita Bhashanam. So if all these things are there, that the Veda Udita Dharma is being followed, Veda itself is being taught along with the Upanishad Vidya and the Advaita Bhuvi, means we have nothing to do in the world. What do we have to do, or what is our story? Nothing. We cannot do anything as long as it is like this. This Kama, Krodha, Mada, Matsarya, all these people, Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Moha, Mada, Matsarya. Okay, we cannot do anything. Asmakam ka katha bhuvi. Therefore, what? Tasmad Vedadva Vidvamse Yatnam Kuru. So the Vedanta and Veda and all that, we have to completely destroy it. For that, we have to make effort. Like this, the Krodhadayaha also are now chiming in along with Kama. And then Kali is answering that. We'll see next week or tomorrow. Yeah. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.